Welcome to the Jaguar Podcast, a show where we discuss all things related to Duval County's finest NFL football team, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Move 42, set, fight!
Duval, baby! What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew coming back at you with another episode of the Jaguar Podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the breaking news of former Jaguars quarterback and Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich likely to be hired for the next Jaguars head coaching spot. So let's get into it. Before I start, though, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our partners and affiliates, FLteams.com, a Florida sports website. They do all things sports coverage of Florida teams, so check it out, FL Teams. It's run by an aspiring young sports journalist, Isaac Edelman. He does a great job. I put my content up there as well. It's FLteams.com. I'll put a link in the description. All right, so let's get into this. Byron Leftwich will likely be hired as the next Jaguars head coach. This was announced this Tuesday on social media, really. Various sources, Ian Rappaport, other sports websites, and, subject matter experts that follow the Jaguars, insiders, etc. My initial reaction to this is positive, but, that being one caveat, if we keep Trent Baalke, this is destined to fail. I can tell you this right now. It will be a total clown show if this guy is retained by the Jaguars as a GM. Did not do a good job when he was here, and when we hired Urban Meyer. Tons of just drama, scandals. Our best kicker, Josh Lambo, getting kicked. The Chris Doyle fiasco. I mean, we had a terrible free agency. We only really got a couple of decent players like Agnew, Marvin Jones Jr., maybe Rudy Ford too. It's up for debate, but I just don't think we did very well. I think we flopped in free agency considering all of the money and cap that we had. But I think if you keep Baalke here, Leftwich will fail. He will undermine Leftwich, and it just won't work. But that being said, when I heard this news, I was honestly more of a Jim Caldwell fan or a Brian Flores fan, and mainly because they are seasoned veteran head coaches. They've had a lot of experience on different teams, coaching different teams. I know, with Caldwell, he was over in Indianapolis, did a pretty good job there with Peyton Manning. I believe they made the playoffs. Went over to Detroit and did a very good job there. Pretty much transformed that team into a winning organization. He did a really good job there. He did a really great job over in Baltimore as, I believe, the offensive coordinator, and they went to the Super Bowl when he was there. Brian Flores as well, went over to Miami, did a great job. Transformed that team. I believe he got coach of the year when he was there. Was unfortunately fired because he didn't get along with the GM. But, I think he would do a great job over in Jacksonville as well. Great culture guy. So those were my two top choices. But I'm also excited for Leftwich just to get an opportunity to show his stuff. Show his skills as a head coach, to come back to Jacksonville. I mean, a lot of people are excited about that. Leftwich was, a quarterback that played for the Jags. I think he was drafted in 2003 at a Marshall. He played for a couple other teams, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay. I think it will be really interesting to see what he brings to the Jaguars. And I'm going to go into the kind of the pros and cons of hiring him. I think let's start off with the pros is that he's a great leader. I mean, he was a quarterback. He was great in the locker room, great leader in the locker room for the Jaguars. He's got great experience too. I mean, being a professional quarterback that started in the league, played for, a couple of different teams, like I said. So he has the experience, and then he coached under Bruce Arians. He was over there, I believe, I think it was like 2019. He was like a quarterback's coach. And then he was an interim offensive coordinator. And then he went over with Bruce Arians to Tampa Bay and was the offensive coordinator there. They went to the Super Bowl. So, he just has incredible experience coaching one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, Tom Brady. So I think that'll be really beneficial when he's coaching up Trevor Lawrence. I think he'll help him develop into a great quarterback, hopefully a generational franchise quarterback and talent. And that's what I think, he'll really bring to this, head coaching position for the Jaguars. And he also learned from Bruce Arians, who's a great coach, did a great job over with the Cardinals, and, won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So just great experience. But, that being said, let's go into some of the cons here. My first concern is that he's never been a head coach, but we could run into another problem kind of similar to Urban, where, Urban didn't have any NFL experience. He only coached in college. So we may run into that issue again. One other issue is that Byron may want to, juggle play calling responsibilities with him being an offensive coordinator, as well as, head coaching responsibilities. And really that issue will be, will he be able to delegate those responsibilities effectively and not try to take on too much, because it's going to be a big learning curve for him first year as a head coach. So that is another concern. And then lastly, I'll just reiterate that if we retain Trent Baalke, will Baalke undermine him? And will this be setting Byron Leftwich up for failure? I think it will. Shad needs to make up his mind here, make a decision. You're not good enough. And get rid of Baalke, because, there's been a whole movement against this guy. The whole fire Baalke movement, the clown town movement. I believe it was the last game of the season, home game against Indy. Everybody showed up in clown uniforms protesting, Shad Khan retaining GM Trent Baalke. So, and I've gone into all the reasons. I've done a couple of videos about why we shouldn't keep Trent Baalke. So I'm not going to go into that, but really will Byron Leftwich be set up for success? And I think the only way to do that, the only way he will be successful, is if we get a new GM that's going to work with him and that will gel well with him. So they'll need to make some moves in the front office, and hopefully they do. Hopefully get a new GM, and I'll be excited to see what we do with Byron Leftwich. But let me know how you feel about this breaking news. Byron Leftwich likely to be the Jags' next head coach. Leave me a comment on the YouTube video or podcast episode. Subscribe to the channel, guys, if you enjoy my work. I appreciate it. Give the video a like. Help me with the YouTube algorithm. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy. Go Jags, and I'll see you next time.
Let me get that. JYD coming up with the big sack. Quarterbacks beware, we on the prowl. Game day night, you could hear it in our growl. Intimidation on to keep their hearts racing, eating other teams live on TV front of the nation. Spectacular defensive scheme.
This episode is available on the Jaguar Podcast YouTube channel, so if you stop by, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. Also, these episodes are available on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and other major podcast distributors as well. So if you don't mind, please leave me a review and some feedback. I'd really appreciate that. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, my Twitter handle is @JagWarPodcast. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. This is Andrew signing off. Cheers.